All right, what is going on, people? It is good to have you on board. Another episode of Unfiltered coming your way right here, right now. This one officially go down as episode number 290 in your scorecard. As always, you could jump on board 24/7, 365 on the Unfiltered Revolution. Total number of ways to get to us. You got Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. Of course, artist formerly known as Twitter, X, if you will. Give me a follow at Casey Stern if you're not already. Then jump up into the bio and you'll be able to follow through, get all the information on the YouTube channel, where to get the podcast. And we're now live on Instagram looking for you to join us for exclusive content. Get there at Unfiltered with Casey Stern. For this one, we're going to be unfiltered and unfilteredly, if that's a word, selfish, and talk some Isles hockey for a lot of you who are jacked up and sort of excited. It's kind of Jesse Spano-like and Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. I mean, pretty much if you were to put into a encapsulation of what is it like to be an Islander fan during the course of this season, pretty much every game goes as follows. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. And then you get more scared. And then you hit the panic button. And then in the game against the Rangers, they find a way to get an empty netter. Anders Lee gets it. They win 4-2 and they close it out in a game where for 20 minutes, they were all over the blue shirts. And then for the next 40, they got outplayed by one of the best teams in hockey. We saw how bad the penalty kill was, which we already know. I mean, forget being worse in the league. If you could be worstest, that's what the Islanders' penalty kill is. And, you know, all the warts and the sores and the cuts and the bruises that are on this roster and on the makeup of the roster and on what we know of in a hockey game for this team all season and their inability to close things out, it all came to the surface. But when you look at it on the surface, it all looks pretty right now in the standings, with just 4 games to go in what we hope is just the regular campaign for the Isles, who are sitting at 87 points in third place. Right now, you've got Tampa and the Washington Capitals monitoring the 2 wildcard spots. Caps got 85 points. They got a win last night as well. Penguins, Red Wings got 84. The Flyers got just waxed, but they're at 83 now. Lost 8 in a row, and that's probably all she wrote for them. Islanders in a really good spot. This is not a really good team, and we all know that. But I always say this about any sport, and I don't want to compare this to years ago when my New York Giants backed into the playoffs and ended up in a Super Bowl, because the Islanders aren't going to the Cup Finals, even with Varley standing on his head the way he is, and you got to ride him like Seattle slew the rest of the way. We know that it's not going to be that kind of a year, if you will. But don't apologize to anybody. I don't want to hear about what the format is. Like, now that with the Islanders are where they are, we're going to sit there, we're going to complain about the format. The format's been this way for a while. Now, I'm fine with going back to 1-8, 2-7, and so on and so forth, but it's been this way for a while. This has nothing to do with the Islanders, but we are talking Islander hockey, and you can get all your betting for your hockey and everywhere else and Bet Online. #1 source for your sports betting needs, latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, basketball, golf, hockey, all the different sports. BetOnline's got the fastest and easiest way to get all of your wagers, favorite casino and card games, live betting, and it's all right from your phone. Head over to the website and use your mobile device today to get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. You'll get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It is Bet Online, where the game starts, and where to get started on what happened with this team last night and what has happened with this team now during the course of this season. First, let's go to the goaltending. We know that Ilya Sorokin was deserving of his contract. We know what he's capable of, but we also know he hasn't played to that standard most of this year. A lot of it maybe because early he got fatigued and drained from facing 45, 50 shots, and majority of them quality, because of the lack of defense on this team. And maybe that kind of led to lack of confidence, and who knows? Maybe he's tired. I'm not in his head. He's going to be fine. But this is how goaltending works and has for years. You ride the hot hand, and he has got to be in the net all the time. I mean, I don't even know how you take him out at all at this. I think you want to run him the table. Now, they go ahead and they clinch maybe, one exact spot with no movement with a game to go, and you want to put Sorokin in there and get his feet wet just in case you need him in the playoffs, that's fine. But for right now, game one, game two, if they get to the playoffs, you're riding Varley because his confidence is at a high level. His relationship with Patrick Waugh clearly seems to be part of that. We know he'd played well with him before, going back to Colorado, and it just is what it is right now. Semi Varlamov has got to be. Now, what's in front of him? A defense that turns the puck over seemingly incessantly, and half of the turnovers are just terrible. I love Noah Dobson, and we all understand that he hasn't been as good the last 20, 25 games as he was the first 50. We all understand also the huge step he's taken this year, right? One of the better offensive defensemen and playmakers in the league. You're still developing defensively, but can we stop clearing the puck in the middle of the ice? Can we stop just basically going aimlessly the boards in our own zone, not with any direction? Can we skate and get the puck out and get it deep so we can get on the forecheck? Because this has been such an issue for this defense for the entirety of the year, and we saw it for 2 of the 3 periods last night. And that's all what it comes down to. I mean, you sit there, and Matt Molson talked about it between periods after the first period yesterday if you're watching the game, which I was at home, and he's right. A lot of the offense in that first period stemmed from them getting out on the rush, getting out of their own zone, getting it deep, which is all dedicated on the defense doing all of those things. Got to get better, has to be better. All right? Bo Horvat. I don't know how many times it's been because I haven't done it every game. But if you were going to do who's been the best player on the Islanders in said game, and you go to the back half of this season, right? And you go to the last 30, 40 games, it has been Horvat, at least half of them. And that's just one player alone. At least half of them. He has been, grindy and beating out icings on the back check, finding ways to score huge goals in the right spots. I mean, he has led with intensity in the way that he's played the game. And I think even in the comments during some of the losses off the ice, I know he's not the captain of this team, but is anybody else there with me? I mean, Horvat, we see a lot of bad moves for teams that we see a lot of, oh my God, I can't believe they gave this guy this money. Why did they go ahead and sign, such and such player that they traded for without seeing whether or not it's worth it? It was too soon and all of that. Not too soon here. Horvat has been fantastic. And that's beyond just the 33, 34 goals or whatever he's got now at this point after one yesterday. He's been great. Some of this team, though, is I'm just sick of watching. And it's hard to say that when you got a team who could go to the playoffs. And I'm not trying to sit there and be curmudgeon guy, but I'm already sick of watching, Engvall play. And I'm wishing if there was contracts we could have back, that would be one. I thought so before they got that signing, to be fair. Off of just a few games last year, we know he could skate, but I'm tired of watching play, okay? Can we keep Simon Holmstrom in one spot and on one line, please? All right? Can we stop being so obsessed moving forward after this year with the identity line and the identity players? I'm thankful for Cal Clutterbuck's speech last night at the end of the game, even though they didn't play well after that necessarily either, though they won. Matt Martin can't anymore. Cizikas on the first line. There's a lot to fix. A lot of this not great. But I think you got to soak up what you got. I think you got to enjoy things while they are. And I think if you're an Islander fan, you got to get dumb. And what I mean by getting dumb is we know more than anybody else who hasn't watched this team, who's just watching, negative goal ratings and all this other nonsense and saying, oh, well, they must be pretty bad. Or the blown leads, like in the game outside in the Stadium series against the Rangers, said, oh, they must be pretty bad. And they're not even realizing how bad it is. We know how bad it is. But we got to get dumb. We got to get dumb just like the team got to get dumb. You won 5 in a row, make it 6. You got to get a chance to get to the postseason where you play Carolina or the Rangers, probably one of those two. Find a way to make it interesting. You're going to be playing with house money, and nobody's going to expect, especially if those teams ever get a power play in that series, that you have any chance to win, but enjoy it. Islander fans need to get dumb. It is time to just enjoy, and I hate using the process, but it's time to enjoy the process if you're an Islander fan and just have fun with what has gone on. 5 wins in a row, sitting there with 87 points and a real chance to get into the playoffs in a year that they probably have no business in the playoffs. You bring your business here. Want to see you on the YouTube channel. Get the information up inside the bio on Twitter, or I can just tell it to you here. Unfiltered with Casey Stern in the little search magnifying glass, and boom, enter. You're on your way. Get us on Instagram at Unfiltered with Casey Stern. And as always, thank you where most of you are: Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your pods. Let's go, Islanders. Let's get dumb. Let's get stupid. Let's get in the playoffs. Bet Online, as always, presented by our good friends, or excuse me, see, I'm verklempt. Unfiltered, as always, presented by our good friends at Bet Online.